they said, be careful of those island boys. Little girl, use your head, they will tear you up like a paper toy. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, no, no, no. When they smile at you, darling, and wink, it's a lethal force that'll bring you down. Trying to get you tipsy like a drink. Love drunk girls all over town.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Rumbi.
Welcome to
Itslayered. We're in a long-distance friendship that started nearly 20 years ago when we were in high school.
We'll be talking about all things life, love, family, anything and everything else under the sun.
Delve deeper with us, because in life, you know, zvinemalayers.
Zvinemalayers.
How have you been, Am, since we last spoke?
Oh, girl, whilst I sip on my chai tea, give me a second. I should say, how are you doing? Uribo?
You know, out here just saying goodbye to summer. I'm actually very sad about this because summer lasted all of like 5 days. But no, I'm good. And you?
How crazy is it that it's like the total opposites? Yeah. I'm like still in winter and you're only like we're swapping.
Yeah,
but definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to do this and let's let the people know all about us.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm scared, but you know, we do what we do.
Like where we come from, we have to say that off the get.
Yes, so people best be knowing. Don't get it twisted. I don't know why I'm being dramatic.
263.
Do you remember? 260, 260, 260, 260. What was that show called? Studio 263.
And that was like a soap opera of note. People were like, did you say?
Yeah,
like, it was
a good
people talking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
We tried.
So if you don't know where the 263 is, that means we come from Zimbabwe. Amanda, where is Zimbabwe? Because, you know, people don't always know their orientation and stuff.
Let me tell you, Australians, where I am now, don't know where Zimbabwe is. I always have to say, it's on top of South Africa. And they're like, like they'll be like, where you from? Like Zimbabwe. They'll look at me like,
yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, it's on top of South Africa. Okay. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. You would hope they would know South Africa is southern of Africa.
Exactly. But then sometimes, and I always hear like, so I'm in the Czech Republic currently, and I find here it's like either they draw a blank, it's like blink, we don't know what you're talking about, or it's like they know of like the political situation. So it's like never really anything great.
A lot of it is like, Mugabe. You're like,
sure. Yeah, exactly. All right. So we've said where we are now, and how did we get where we are, and like maybe some backstory of that. Shucks. How did you get to Aussie?
I'll probably take up this whole time slot to tell you. Nah. It's so studied in Zimbabwe in terms of my childhood, predominantly in Zimbabwe. Met you in high school, which we'll get into, I'm sure. But left high school for uni, came to Australia, and pretty much never left. So in a nutshell, the last almost, over 13 years now, been here.
Easy.
Used to live in Perth, Australia, but now I'm in Melbourne for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Almost 3-ish. Time is flying.
I don't know why I just but anyway.
Time is flying. Okay.
That's my bird.
No, that is Rumbi's. Time is flying.
Please don't judge me. And I won't judge.
That's our national bird. But Rumbi, what about you?
So I'm in the Czech Republic, as I said. I actually was born in Zim, of course. My family moved to SA when I was, 4.5? We lived there for a bit, 2.5 years. Then it was all because of my dad's job. Ghana for a bit, and then back to Zim, where I finished primary school and obviously high school, where we met. And then I studied at university in South Africa, and I worked in SA for like, shucks. I finished studying in 2000. I'm forgetting. It's making me realize how old I am. I finished studying in 2010 and then worked in South Africa for about 6 years and then moved back home for just over a year before coming to the Czech Republic. Insane. So I've only been here for about a year, 8-9 months in the Czech Republic.
So far from home, so far from home.
Yeah. And I came here because I decided to come and teach English here. And yeah, most people are like, what? Like, how did you even get there? But yeah, I'm teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you miss South Africa?
No, I do not.
That was quick. Sorry, Mzansi people, that was quick. No,
it's not. Why are you making it seem like I'm hating? It's not even that. I think it's more so just like, I did what I needed to. I got what I needed to. Of course, I miss my sister's still there. I have friends there. I miss them. But in terms of living there, I'm good. So, yeah. And do you miss Zim? Do you like miss? It's been a long time for you. So it's like you literally.
I honestly think my review of Zim is so biased because it honestly feels the older I am. I'm in my very young 30s. It starts to feel like Zim is childhood. Like, all the memories I have is just when I was, you haven't come of age yet, you haven't paid your taxes, you haven't adulted in any sort of way. So I feel like I fondly think of these things. But if I was to move there now as a career woman, as a working woman, I'm sure, and regardless of everything going on there, it would still be very different for me. Not the Zimbabwe I think I know. So even when I go there on holidays, you're on holiday, nothing phases you. You're like, holiday mode. So I think I cherish it in that childhood space.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, so it's almost like nostalgic, like missing home.
Yeah. Like every time I go there, I want to do things that I used to. And when you think about it, when you were a kid, you're like, I want to get a frizzit, I can't wait. I need my pootie up in here. But it's because obviously those are
things you grew up with. Totally. Totally. I think nostalgia plays a big part for most of us from Zim, if you think about it, because it's like the good memories that we had. And I feel like I had such a short, memorable time when Zim was like really good, if that makes sense, because we moved back to Zim when I was maybe 10. So I did grade 5 up until Form 6 in Zim. And, in the midst of high school, that's when things went crazy and all that. So definitely you sort of miss that nostalgic type of thing. But,
and in a way that's kind of sad too, because you can compare so well, like kids growing up there now will never know what it was like. I remember there's a time, and you might have been away, but there's a time when the milkman would actually come to your gate
and give milk.
Like, bottles of milk, like you would order that. The newspaper, people used to do like American newspaper runs on a bicycle
and throwing it. That's crazy. I definitely miss that.
Notion to think of a Zimbabwe like that now, kids would be like, you can be a newspaper kid boy, running with a bit of bicycle. Like, paid $2, a blue note. Like, those notes are completely. So I think you're right. Nostalgia is a huge thing when it comes to Zim. But we love it.
We love it. I just remember like Water World, Greenwood Park, like, oh man, let's not go down there. We'll save this episode.
I think we need another whole episode.
Yeah, no, we need another whole episode. Yeah, but how did we meet, Am? Like, tell the people. The people want to, or maybe they actually don't care. But
you know what? The people shouldn't care because I don't remember. I don't know about this. Like, I was what was my first conversation with Rumbi? And I don't know if it's my 30-something-year-old brain or if it's I just think we were just friends. Like, in my mind, I just think, please, everyone, ignore my lockdown nails. They're just, sorry, sidebar. But my nails are a problem in lockdown right now. But anyway.
I feel you.
Let's go back. I think I just remember being friends with you. Where exactly the moment clicked is something I've been searching and racking my brain I just feel like I just remember you always singing, always joyful, and that's just me. Like that's just how I think I vibed with you. Initially. And then obviously, like as you get older and you spend more and more time in school, the memories get more and more vivid. But to say how we started, I really am stumped. Do you remember?
Nope, not at all. I think also because like we were in boarding school together, so like we went to school together. Peter House, like I don't know if people
shout out.
What I do. Sorry, I do this. Like, I break out into song randomly, but like so we went to Peter House together, and like it was overwhelming. Like you're just like all these young 12, 13-year-olds stuck together, just figuring out life. So all of a sudden, and then definitely, like you said, as time went by, I really just knew we were friends. And I think my first like distinct memory of you and I, in terms of being friends, was in B block. That was Form 3. We lived in the same dorm or next to each other, something like that. And like, I also distinctly remember going for a walk with you, like around the cross country course. But like, so like, I have certain things.
We were walking. When running that cross country, we were meant to be running. Maybe that's how we bonded. We're like, we're not running this.
But like, literally, like, so like you said, it's like, and I think that's the beauty of it, is like the evolution of friendship, starting off and just like us kids thrown together, trying to figure out like this high school world, and then just forming a bond from there. And
I can say for sure, Group A schools would definitely relate when it comes to you're like, you go to school and it's like the black kids and the white kids, and like sometimes the black kids are like a smaller, at that time you're a smaller number, so you're almost friends with everybody automatically. Like in our Shona class, I think we were like maybe 15, 20. So then you're all like, oh, we're all friends, you know.
Yes, absolutely, you know, for sure. But it was dope. I mean, some really great, like boarding school was the best decision I made for myself, because my sister was in day school and I was adamant I wanted to go to boarding school, and it's like the best decision I made, you know, so for myself.
Look at us, almost 20 years. 2001, we were getting to that school in our blue blazers and those ugly ass pleated gray skirts. Wow, what a trip.
What a trip. So how is the
I think that's the saddest thing, because like after high school, I don't think I've ever spent as much time with you as we've had. Obviously, then I had to go into a long distance friendship with you being in SA initially and me in Australia, and then now you're in Czech and me still in Australia. So it's like there's a lot of things, you know, but at the same time, one of the beautiful things doing something like this, a podcast, luckily as well, internet has come so far. Imagine we had to write letters to each other, bruh.
You'll be hearing from me every 3 months or 6 months or something like that. And
then now with COVID, we wouldn't be able to post them
at all. Thank you, Jesus, for technology. That's all I have to say. Like ultimately, because it's crazy. And honestly, as much as, like you said, a large part of our relationship or friendship, maybe 14 years, has been long distance, but the bond doesn't feel any weaker. It feels like it gets stronger and stronger. So it's just a testament to friendship, and really, really grateful for that. And seeing each other maybe once every 2 years if we're lucky, like it just depends. And then COVID, like this year. Which is,
and it makes you cherish those moments, and like I feel like the quality is elevated because you don't have to put up with all the stuff. You're just like, this is, you know, and also perspective. You know, when you're stuck in a situation with your other friends, wherever you are, it's nice for me to have someone else who's completely removed in a way to be like, how do you see it? You know? It's like having a bird's eye view, an eagle view, and it's so needed in a lot of situations.
Definitely. And it's like also having someone who understands the experience of being a foreigner in a different place, and like also coming from the same place, and then we can share the things we grapple with openly and freely and know that there's someone who gets it and understands it and the complexities of life and that. But yeah, what made us do this, like to even decide to like, you know, crack the mic, as they say, and like, you know, start this podcast?
I actually think you answered it perfectly, like previously, saying, you know, talking about all those experiences of life and from different sides of the world. We're literally like day and night right now.
Literally.
And sharing, you know, what we've been going through, and also thinking we can't be the only ones. We literally cannot be. Navigating our Shona Undewele culture with everything else. So it's like, okay, you're plucked out of Zimbabwe, now what?
For sure. So yeah, absolutely. Like our conversations, our phone calls last up to like 4 hours, like just, and it's not like
we can talk.
It's not like the conversation is over, like the guan is finished. Like there's way more to talk about, but like there are a lot of things that we unpack, and we're just like, surely it can't be us alone. Maybe it is, maybe it's just us, but you know, we thought to bring that to you guys and like share a bit of, you know, how we think and get different perspectives, right? Because it's also nice to see things from a different view and not just be like be all end all. But why do we call it It's Layered? Why It's Layered? Why not Let's Talk or something, you know?
What do you think? Why do you think we called it It's Layered?
Because zvinemalayers, like everything. Literally. Nothing is black and white. Like even like the simplest thing, you'd be like, yeah, you know, this is wrong. But there's also this perspective, if you want to understand it from this point of view, like typically, like life is so gray, like it has so many facets and colors, so nothing is ever simple. So that's why we called it that, because there is not always an answer to solve it, but sometimes if you go through it all, it helps relieve the pressure and like make you feel understood. So I'm with it.
And I think with diaspora and globalization, you're always balancing 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, 7 perspectives every time you attack something. You know, I think if we had never left Zim, we had never experienced anything else, we would just see our view probably mainly in the Zimbabwe landscape. And that would be fine. But now that we're out of Zimbabwe, and now Zimbabweans are everywhere. Like I think we're almost in every country in the world. It's like, how do you balance that? That's when you start to see the layers unravel. Because you're like, okay, but I'm here, but I know not to do this, but I know not to do that. Oh, what about this? What about that? Like, you know, there's so many topics that you start to unravel and see that you have to delve. You have to keep delving deeper. There's more. There's always more. It's not so black and white.
There's always more. And I think it speaks to like our view on life. I think to be an open-minded person, to be someone who's understanding, you always need to know more or like look at it from different angles. So I think that's why too. All right. So before, oh gosh, there's more.
Giving you sexy eyes.
Amanda.
What's there?
What's next? Apparently we're going to share now like what we love about each other. So I'll start with what I love about Amanda. I could go on, but and I think why the relationship has lasted so long in terms of our friendship and grown so much is, you know, she's communicative and like from like the deepest guan, like, and we flip, right? We can go from like the deepest guan to like the most random like pop.
Oh, they'll see. They'll see.
You know, but like she's always like consistent, checking in, and she's truly, truly a genuine person who cares about people and loves to bring people together. She's a connector. She's like, you know, wants to be around people, wants, you know, people to have a good time, and also just sees the good. So she reminds me like the good in me, or reminds me to like stop that. Like I'll never, oh my gosh. Remember Thailand? And like, oh my gosh. Oh,
we need to have a travel. We're going to go delve into that.
Yeah, we need to do a travel. But basically this chick literally said to me, stop that, when I was second guessing myself. Like she'll keep it real as well, you know, to remind you like, come to yourself, girl. Because for me, ultimately friendship, as much as you want to kiki together and like someone who supports you, you also want someone to like help you see things right. and she's been there through the trenches of like life and helped me through. And one of my favorite things about us and our friendship is we love to dance. Like we love to dance together. And so like we ain't worried about nobody. We just want the good jams, and we will.
No. I actually hate it when guys try to step up to dance. You're like, no, I'm supposed to pretend to dance with you. Can you go away? Please, you're killing the vibe. Just get me a drink, but don't have to come and dance with me. I'm good.
Why are you this person? Why are you this person? But yeah, so that's, you know, there's so many others, but thoughtful, like literally. And for me, it's always the little things that mean the most. And she's incredibly thoughtful and kind and all the beautiful, wonderful things, which you will get to see on this podcast. But those are just some of the things I love about her in so many ways. And she's like really talented and creative. She's a doer. She like gets things done, and like we're similar in some ways and then different in other ways, but we can always talk about it, which is great for me. But yeah, so that's what I love about you, Amanda.
I'm feeling it. Oh, Rumbi, I think, actually, as you were talking, I was thinking, wow, like, we've been through a lot. And I was thinking, our art classes, I think that was probably when we really pinched our friendship.
Yeah.
Because, shout out to Miss Guy, but like those art classes were amazing. Like having the music on, it was just perfect music and creativity. And like, I've always loved that about you, that you're your own person. And like, especially these days where it's like so copy and paste and everyone's doing the exact same thing. And I know sometimes people will like just try to put you in a box. Like I know people always think, oh, Rumbi, you're boho chic or Erika Badu or whatever else they want to be saying, because people want to have a label on everything, which is so disappointing. But that's so just seeing you and the way you navigate life is so liberating. Like it's so like, okay, we do not have to do it how everyone else is doing it.
Oh, thank you.
I love that about you. And you're like loyal. Like hey.
These girls ain't loyal. Well, I'm loyal, but you know.
Yeah, there is a picture of you in the dictionary for loyal. Like I can never fault you on that. Like maybe sometimes to your own detriment, but that's like, for me, it's all benefits, because that's what you want in a friendship, knowing someone truly has your back. Like even when I was thinking about, getting married and Rora, which we'll go into, I'm sure on the next few episodes, you were always there through all the little things and and when you're navigating such a big step, it's nice having that person who's kind of grounding you and has known you for a long time, doesn't have any secret agendas, doesn't have, and that's always how you've loved people. You just love them as they are. And I feel like you're very good at like taking a step back and seeing what needs to be done. I think a lot of people get caught up in their own, this is what I'm doing and I don't care about anyone else. And but you're always like, which is why I think it's great the field you're in, like even with teaching or even especially with marketing and doing brands and stuff, it's totally you. Because I think to your clients, even if they change and swap and they're from all different aspects, you will always be able to like take a step back and look out for them. So I love that. I love that about you.
Thank you.
Creatively, oh gosh. Girl, they're going to see the conversations we have about everything. I think we think we're experts on every subject.
Yeah. We really do. I think so.
Fashion, we're like, okay, like everything. Our opinions run deep. Our opinions have layers. To
them.
I love that. It's not so, when I ask you a question about something, that we start somewhere else and we segue into something completely. But it shows me the depth of conversation. And like, I think, as you said, maintaining this 20-year friendship would not happen without that. You can't do the whole, how are you? I'm good. It doesn't work to keep something like this where you're growing separately, but you're not growing apart. You have to put the work in, but in a fun way. I feel like with you, it's always fun. I'm always laughing. Even through the trenches and the bad moments, we're laughing. Like we're literally just like
Yeah, because we need it. It keeps us going. Oh, you're so. Thank you.
Sending virtual hugs.
Receiving virtual hugs. We're such dorks.
I know. People are gonna be like, girls, y'all are soft.
So what? We also get hard, yeah, but we also keep it 100. Okay. Yeah. So, how has COVID-19/2020 affected? Because maybe as a introduction to this is we were actually supposed to see each other this year, and also under like not great circumstances at all. And when you're clinging onto, like, we're both going through like the most, and you're like holding on and being like, hey, at least I'm gonna see my person, and like we're just gonna, and then COVID came, and I was just like, COVID.
It's not even a curveball. It's like a completely different planet we've been pushed onto. Like, seriously,
bruh.
I think that's the thing diaspora people can understand the most. Those trips home, those trips to see siblings, friends, they mean so much to us. They're a moment of reflection. They're a moment of rejuvenation.
Yeah.
They're a moment where you can just be you, So when to have that grabbed away from you, the way it was with COVID, like, I mean, I'm so grateful that we're both healthy and safe.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was so heartbreaking to because I was in Germany and Rumbi was in Czech, and we couldn't see each other because the borders are closed.
And literally the borders closed. So far. Like the day before I was supposed to leave to go see, like no lie. It was like Friday, the Czech government was like, borders closed, and then Saturday I was supposed to be. So it was just like, so close, but so far is the perfect.
Yeah, and then even for us, the trip was, I think we're meant to fly out. I was meant to go through Switzerland and see my brother and my nieces, and then the borders closed. So then I literally arrived on a Thursday and left on a Tuesday. So it was just like in and out. So not a good start to 2020.
It came guns blazing. What about everyone who was like 2020 my year? I'm claiming 2020. Hey, I'm leaving all y'all people behind. New decade said, say what? Say what? Hey.
But you know what? A lot of growth has happened, I think. Sure. A lot of self-reflection, a lot of pausing. You were going way too fast. Sometimes I think it was necessary. We needed to have a break. At some point it was going to happen. I don't know if it was, obviously it's very devastating for anyone who's lost someone to COVID. Yeah. And, you just obviously, send condolences to all of them. Yeah. But at the same time, you do this thing for the whole world in general. It was a time to pause. It
was time to pause. Absolutely. Yeah, man. And I agree. I can't agree more. And I think it also spurred on a lot of creativity for a lot of people to really start saying, like, what am I here to do? Like, I can't just be like existing, because life can literally be taken away from, and we knew this, like we've all experienced loss in terms of someone close to us passing away. But I think it just really hit home. And I think that's why we even decided to do the podcast, because you can talk about, we'll do a podcast, but you'll always postpone it. You'll always be like, I'll do it later. And for those of you who don't know, Amanda is a stylist, a fashion stylist. She studied, she's been growing her business, like building on, like this has been a dream in the making, which I'm so proud to see her actually like realize. And I know, I think it was someone on Instagram, I don't know if it was Shiona Turini, she's a stylist, and she was like, I feel bad talking about clothes during a pandemic, but also the joy that it comes with. And I remember like you just being like, just carry on sharing, and, because it's that little reprieve and the bit of joy that we can all, see at that. How has COVID, I think we know how COVID has affected businesses, but you personally, and how it has inspired you as well? Like, what has that whole experience been like for you with your business?
I think it's made me stop procrastinating. It's like the time is now, and sometimes when you're creative, you're very perfectionist.
Yes.
and be very critical of your work,
Yes.
and see very like protective of your work too, because you're like, it's not ready, it's not ready, it's not ready. People can see it. Then you marinate on something and possibly over marinate on something.
Yes.
And I think the other day you were sharing, I remember on Instagram you shared a quote about who actually said it, but was talking about just start. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be everything laid out, just begin. And I think, you know, 2020, COVID, this pandemic had like sown that seed in me where it's like, just do. Who cares if the grid doesn't look perfect on Instagram?
Yes.
Who cares if, you know, or clients, you can't see clients face to face and all has to be online. Who cares? Like, just do. Better like action, better than no action at all. And I think I was at a point where I was just like, it has to be this, has to be perfect, has to be like, and then it got, you know, when this all happened, it took that all from me. And then I was like, and also I have to say, when you're balancing two businesses, because obviously you have a 9-to-5 and you have the business you actually want to do, which I think a lot of diasporas would, you can only be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. You cannot be anything else.
Gosh.
So like, it's like also thinking, I can actually let go of this 9-to-5 job and do this. I think that's kind of brought it more to the forefront, where it's like, what am I waiting for? Whereas before, I think we were always told about security.
Yeah.
But this pandemic showed us there's no such thing.
There is no such thing, bruh.
No such thing. People been in companies for whatever years were told, see ya, as if they never worked at the company before.
No, for sure.
So it's like, okay, what have you been doing? And of course I can get it. Like, you want, if you have a family especially, you don't want to just be like flaky with things.
Yeah.
But there comes a point, if you have a passion you're trying to chase and trying to do, there's never going to be a perfect time. So do it. Just do it.
Literally.
What about you? How are you finding all of this?
So, it's definitely, like you said, reflective. I really started delving into like, who is Rumbi? What does Rumbi want to do? Those questions that we ask. And it kind of forced me to, you know, like get my own consulting going, like with marketing and, you know, with brands, and it's been good. And even my voice, to really just be like, at the end of the day, you do have a voice. And I think, I don't know what it is in me that felt like I no longer had a voice, or I shouldn't have something to say. Also because the streets be noisy, as in like social media is just loud. Everyone is an expert on everything. And I'm sure someone will look at us and be like, you think you're experts on something. Yeah. But I'm also learning that at the end of the day, if one person resonates with you, you were meant to share that one thing. Does that make sense? Really, completely. You know, about just doing, just trying, just, you know, believing in yourself, like that all this experience you've had was not for nothing. It was really for something. And so, it's been interesting. It's been busy, like you said, juggling things, because I'm teaching full time and also like trying to do this. So high stress, like, you know, but at the same time, feeling good because I feel like I'm investing in myself and in my future and the future I want, and doing the things I want to do for myself. So it's totally been
and it goes without saying, 2020 was quite a pivotal moment for Black lives.
Oh, for sure.
So I think this is the time to actually push your businesses, to push your creative, to push your voices, you know. And I think, like, even for me here, living in a predominantly white community, they finally, I feel like when Black Lives Matter happened, and rest in peace to all the victims, you know, I just feel like it made people actually stop and listen. And I don't think that would have happened if it wasn't for a pandemic. You know, people are now actually asking the right questions, actually reading and researching on the right topics. Whereas I think if they could go out with their friends and carry on life
as normal,
probably would not have. Why research on, you know, another race, another tribe, another completely different set of people when you can go out and have fun and, you know,
ignore and pretend like life is dandy.
And pretend like everything is normal. And I feel like, you know, the momentum from that, if not for anything else, it should be that people actually stopped and got it. You know, when you explain white privilege, people always used to say before, but I'm not rich. I also don't have money. It's like, that's not what, I know the word privilege is associated with wealth. And yeah, to some extent, we're talking about that too. But it's also just the basic rights. Like that's literally still at the foundation. And I feel like as creatives for both of us and with this podcast and also being diaspora and also being African, like it's like where are we all fitting in this whole system?
No, for sure. And for you, in terms of like your first year of marriage, like, and spending a whole chunk like quarantined and like all the, how's that been?
We probably need an episode on that. Generally, to be honest, I loved it. I probably am very, people probably call it a honeymoon phase. So they're like, oh yeah, of course you would. But I think we work such busy lives. My husband works shift work, 12 hours a day, construction. Anyone out there who knows what that's like, it's rotating shift. You sometimes can go a whole week without actually really seeing each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like we got time to just again pause and just be as a couple. Because straight after we went home, because I went home to get the traditional wedding done. Then I went to Hamburg, saw Rumbi. She came over for an engagement party. Then we came back and got married in Perth. I feel like we just went straight back into normal life.
Yes.
And then it kind of made us pause again. And it's been good. It was good. I enjoyed. I really, really actually enjoyed it. I know there's a lot of stuff going around saying two things are going to be babies or divorce. We're definitely not on the divorce one. So I'm not so sure about the baby one, but we're like a happy medium.
That's good. No, that's so awesome, right? Yeah, I'm so glad.
What about you with love during quarantine?
That's going to be a movie, Love During Quarantine. Did you do a wink?
Yeah.
No, it's similar to you. It actually, because our relationship is pretty young, right? If you look at it on the scale of like relationships. But it actually really was good to we got to really see each other and see, how we deal under like extremely difficult situations and like supporting each other. Like the pandemic was just like the tip of the iceberg, because there was so much more going on in our lives individually and so it was just like a lot. But the support, like, I don't know how I would have survived the pandemic without having my partner. Like, he was incredible and just so supportive and a source of strength and comfort, especially being so far away from home, especially without having really that much family. And I say family, like friends you can call family out here. And so that I'm like, God, you knew what you was doing, like literally.
He knew, boo. He put him right in your path at the perfect time.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm definitely grateful. It was great to be around each other, like more. And it was, like you said, I'm grateful for it, for sure. Yeah. And we didn't kill each other. Like space wasn't like we survived. Like, we didn't shoot each other. And that was the best part for me. Yeah. So, yeah.
So weird, right? Like, I think people take it for granted when you're in diaspora. They forget that, like we talk about Ubuntu in our culture,
Yeah.
And people forget about that. When you leave Zimbabwe, it's like you're alone. You're literally alone. Some people leave with their siblings, lucky them. Some people leave with their families, their nuclear family, maybe their mom, dad, siblings, and lucky them too. But for majority, I feel there's more majority that just leave and then make their friends their family.
Yes.
They're the ones who are signing leases with you. They're the ones who are your guarantors on loans. They're the ones who are, your next of kin if you ever have to go to hospital. They're the ones who actually. So then when you go back home and you're like, this is my friend, And we just think, oh, you're a friend. You're like, no.
No.
I can't even explain it anymore.
Yeah,
And it's only when you've been out and experienced that whole, like, usawira, like a proper friend, that you're like, okay,
yes,
you know. And I'm sure a lot of listeners with diaspora would get this. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Family meant so much more this pandemic. You really realized how alone or how connected you were.
No, for sure. 100%. But yeah, it's really, I'm grateful that both of us have come out with grateful hearts, even though it was really difficult or has been. And, we're going into winter here. So restrictions are going to start back up. But just grateful for the experience so far. And
that we were safe. It could
that
have been
we're
a totally
safe,
different
and
story.
the support structures we have. But yeah.
Though I didn't see you.
I know.
I am grateful that we will see each other again soon, and we're doing this podcast, so I'll definitely be seeing you more.
I'll be seeing you, boo. But yeah,
checking up on you.
And checking up on you. But this is just like an introduction into us, into our thinking a little bit, why we even started this thing. We really hope you will join us for the journey, the conversations. We would love to hear from you. And what can they expect from our podcast? What can they expect us to
I think everything and there's no limits. No limits.
Sky is the limit, and that you keep on.
Yeah. Rumbi also breaks into song, by the way, people. We don't need to have music or the DJ. Rumbi will just only thing she can do is sing, dance, and beatbox. Otherwise, she would be doing all three if she could. A one-man show.
One-man show, the heck. But
everything, we're going to be covering love. We're going to be covering dating, getting into love. We're going to be covering coming from Zim, going into a Western culture. We're going to be covering careers. We're going to be covering so much, everything. But if there's anything people want to specifically hear from us or want us to discuss, just let us know.
Give me a call. Let us know. Text us. Yeah. Oh, and we are on Instagram. It's layered. So it's itslayered. And our email, if you'd like to shoot us an email, is itslayeredpod. So itslayeredpod@gmail.com. So that's how you can hit us up. Hit me up.
And then we can delve even deeper.
Yes. Zvinemalayers. Thank you so much for joining us. Amanda, I'll see you on the next episode. Bye, everybody.
Bye.